Okay, it is Shop My Stash rotation time again. I say again, but I think it's been a while, right? We've been dabbling with these products for a long time now. So um, let's walk through these products and then we'll pick some new ones. You guys know how this goes. I'm super excited to bring in some fall to my life. And I don't think that this is going up exactly on fall day, but I do think that this is going up roughly around fall time. So I'll start with something easy. I don't think I used either one of these at all. They actually went into a different drawer because they just didn't fit in this one with all the other things that I was trying to get done. And I forgot about them. So, and also, like, if I'm being 100% honest with you, I haven't been wearing a whole heck of a lot of highlighter as I wear highlighter today. These are gonna stay in because I didn't use them at all. That said, I did use both of these highlighters. So this one is the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Highlighter Kilowatt Foil Freestyle Highlighting Duo in Sandcastle and Mint Mojito. And when I pulled this in, I hadn't used it at all, but I did use both shades. This one was actually a really pretty, like, just topper that I could put onto just about anything, and it really brought out something different and unexpected, and had kind of this, like, pinky feel to it. I don't have my light on, but I feel like right now that's okay, but I'm going to turn it on so you guys can see a little better. We'll just turn it down. And then the other one is this, like, really beautiful, like, copper tone, but it was almost not right for my skin tone, so I used it a couple times as an eyeshadow. I also used it as a highlight a couple times, but I had to go really, really lightly with it, but I do love it. It is really pretty, and part of me doing these Shop My Stashes is getting use out of everything in my collection and deciding whether I want to keep it or not, and I definitely will be keeping this. It's actually really pretty. You can't get it anymore, so. Another one you can't get anymore that I will be keeping is this Smashbox The Hood Witch Crystallized Highlighter in Optimistic, and I really realized why I loved this highlighter way back in the day. It's just super simple and just catches the light just right for this, like, really beautiful, like, pinky highlight, but otherwise it doesn't look like much on your face. I think that, you know, obviously this is an old highlighter and the formulations are much more elevated these days than exists in this highlighter, but it is still a really beautiful highlight, and I just can't let go of it. So I will be keeping that as well. So from a bronzer standpoint, these were the only two I brought in besides, no, I brought in this one as well. So this one I only used once, and this is the NARS Laguna Bronzer Cream in Laguna 03. You guys can see this is really dark. There was a time in my life that I thought that I was the darkest human on the planet. I don't know why I would buy this color of bronzer. Truth of the matter is this is not my shade. However, this was actually really pretty, and it would be more used if I saw the sun. I don't see the sun where I'm at now, so I never get tan. So it is going to hang out in my collection for a while. There's nothing wrong with it. It still works. It's still creamy. It's beautiful. It has a lot of pigmentation to it, and I can go really, really easy with it and make it work. It's easy to work with. The NARS Laguna bronzing creams tend to pretty much blend themselves, truly. I just have to remember to not go super crazy with it. if a cream bronzer could last 20 years, it's one of those bronzers that would probably last me 20 years just because it is so dark. And definitely not my shade because I never get tan anymore. There was a time in my life living in Eastern Washington where I did get tan. The weather over there is so much warmer. I mean, like, for instance, right now it's like 87 degrees over there, and here it's 62. So I'm wearing a sweater. Whereas in Eastern Washington, I would still be in shorts and tank tops. So this used to be a color I can make work more easily than now, but I'll hold on to it. I really do like it. It smells fine. It works fine. It's still super creamy. We'll see if I can use it more next summer. This is the Fenty Matchstick, and this is in the shade Amber. This is like one of the first matchsticks that she ever came out with, and this is a perfect contour for me. I was reminded on why I liked this contour so dang much over the last several weeks, and I will be pulling it out and using it more. I really like it a lot. I don't contour a whole hell of a lot these days, which is probably why it doesn't see as much use as it used to, but it is still very nice and I will hold on to it. The two bronzing powders that I brought in were this one in Rich Amber by ABH. You know, unlike this NARS one that's not my shade, but I can make work, I had a really hard time making this one work for my skin. I just think that it is too deep and also just a slight bit too warm for me. I want to keep, I don't know, I had 3 of these ABH bronzers. I want to keep trying to use it to get some use out of it, but I also know I didn't wear it very much over the last several weeks because I just did not love the way it looked on my face. I'm going to put this in a potentially declutter area for now because I will potentially declutter that. I just, like I said, did not get any use out of it because I wore it, I think I wore it twice total and hated it both times. This one, on the other hand, the Benefit Hoola, has been a holy grail for me for years. And just to put it into perspective, like this one, it's like it fits me like a glove. Look how warm that looks on camera. It's not really all that orange on my face. Whereas this one, which I just washed off, so let me put it back on, looks really nice in the pan, but on my skin it just comes off like I am sunburnt or have a bad spray tan, I think is what it is. Let's do the powder because it's down here and it makes more sense. This is the Kosas Cloud Set in Featherly. Mine doesn't smell. My component isn't broken. I know a lot of people have a problem with the components. What I worry about is it looks fine. It is fine. It doesn't smell like, you know, stale fries or anything like that, which I know Kosas typically start smelling like when it goes bad. What I worry about is that it's a baked powder, and so this should be the same color as a powder, and it looks like it should be a blush. So what is going on with that? That said, this powder is really beautiful, but it's not as finely milled as I want it to be to go on my under eyes, but you guys can see, I think, that it is pretty blurring on the skin. Like these like hand wrinkles that I was just putting it over the top of, they're kind of blurred now. I really do like this powder for all over the face, but I would never wear it on my under eyes, which is pretty much where I want a powder to be able to go. But because it is decent enough for my face, I will hold on to it. I don't honestly think it's got a lot of life left. Kosas products, you know, they're natural products and they go bad quite a bit quicker than most other products do. Although this one has been fine, I have had it a long time in my collection, so we'll encounter it again probably in the declutter series that I do on my channel every year in the month of February, March, and we'll see how it smells then. But I have enjoyed it as a powder this last several weeks, and all over my face anyways, and I have enjoyed it as powder in the past, so I will hold on to it. Let's do lips really quick. Get these out of the way. These are the Fenty Poutsicles. They're the lip stains by Fenty. These are the only lip stains that I've ever had in my life that do not dry out my lips and that I really do enjoy wearing. So I will continue to hold on to them. They're pretty old in my collection, but they are really amazing, honestly. They don't smell. They still perform very well. So I have 3 different shades. I have Berry Banger, which is kind of like a deep purpley color. I have Strawberry Sangria, which is more of a red, but it comes off very pink on my lips. And then I have My Type, which is kind of pink. This just comes off as more of a, almost a purpley pink than this does. So I assume that if I layer this one, it would be more red on my lips, but I will hold on to these until they're gone because I love them. And a lip stain is so much easier to wear and use than a lipstick or even a liquid lipstick. This Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip, I don't remember it being this like sticky, but also it was nice. It was pretty. I didn't 100% love the stickiness on my lips after using it. I don't know. I feel like the stickiness doesn't last super long and it's just basically clear. I mean, yeah, it's got a little bit of a tint to it, but not a lot of a tint to it. I'll hold on to it. I don't love it, but I don't think that there's any reason to get rid of it right now though either. This lipstick I did use. This is the, Charlotte Tilbury Icon Baby. And I think this is like a mini of her KISSING, like kissing lips. I love that it has a little bit of a sheeniness to it. It looks just really pretty. I love that it's not like super baby pink, but it's also a lot like not like dark deep mauve. It's honestly really perfect for my lip tone, my natural lip tone. And this one I have used 100,000 times, honestly. I don't know why it still exists in my collection, but there's not a whole lot left of it. This is the Urban Decay Comfort Matte in Back Talk from their what is it, Afterlife collection or something like that. I can't remember, but this is what it looks like. So it's kind of a deeper, more matte version of this, and I really enjoyed wearing these two together, honestly. So if I took like the Back Talk and put it on my lips, and then I would put this like in the center and kind of pat it out throughout the entirety of the lip. And this is what it looked like on my lips. It was just really pretty. So I will keep those in, and who knows, maybe one of them will, or both will end up in my project pan one day because I'm trying to blow through my miniature lip gloss or miniature lipsticks. This one I wore once. This is the Satin Lip Color in Enigmatic from Rose Ink. And this is actually a really pretty deep kind of brown toned pink, and I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it, and it's a really comfortable lipstick to wear. It's not, you know, super matte, so although it does stick around a lot better than most satin lipsticks, I mean, even it stuck around longer than even this one by Charlotte on its own. So I really enjoyed that, and this is actually one of my favorites. You guys can see it's probably one of my more used lipsticks in my collection. This is an Estee Lauder Pure Color Illuminating Shine lipstick in the shade 901, which is Born Flirt, and I actually really love this lipstick. It cools down my natural lip color just to perfection, to be honest, and I love it a lot. And it goes with just about anything, so that obviously will stick around. But I am really happy to say I got use out of all of those lipsticks at one point in time or another. So from a lip liner perspective, I had way too many in here. Wasn't thinking when I built this, but I did use all of them. This one is Wayne Goss, the Essential Lip Pencil, and it is in medium nude. It's just really kind of a peachy colored nude, a little bit more peach than I think I needed, but it partnered really well with this Estee Lauder color, so I was really happy to get some use out of that. This is Makeup Forever Anywhere Caffeine. I believe that this was the first time I had used this. And it's a lot deeper than I thought it was, but it is super pretty and also partnered really well with the Estee Lauder color. But I also wore it on its own with the Charlotte Tilbury color as well and liked it a lot. Then we have Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Medium. One of my favorites. I think that you can see that in just the sheer like length of the pencil. You can tell it's been used quite a bit. It is a little bit more of that pinky tone. Went really well with the other lipsticks that I had in rotation. This one is Wherever Walnut. Wherever Walnut was the first Makeup Forever pencil that I ever purchased, and I really like it. It reminds me a lot of the Pillow Talk Medium, just slightly more brown. So I really enjoyed it. This one was Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. I mean, really iconic. Again, another one of my favorites. Cannot be without that one. And this one, the wild card, was ColourPop's Lippy Pencil in the shade Girl. And I actually used this quite a bit. And I actually found that I liked it a lot. Like this on the outer, like, edges of my lips, and then in the Cupid's bow a little bit, with this over the top of it, and then this to blend it all together, was actually really, really pretty and lent to, you know, kind of like gradient lips. I mean, a real 90s vibe, to be honest, but it was just really super pretty. It melted together really nicely. What I will say though is that ColourPop Lippy pencils used to be one of my favorites, and I really can't say that I know why today, because these do, as you can see here, just kind of disappear when you put stuff on top of them. That might be why I didn't mind it so much, but like it is gone, whereas the other ones have stuck around. So I don't think in the future, I mean, I have about 100 ColourPop Lippy pencils to go through. I don't think in the future ColourPop Lippy pencils will be something that's on my list to purchase. They are decent, and I do like some shades a whole lot, but I just think that you get more bang for your buck with like a Charlotte Tilbury or a Makeup Forever or even the Wayne Goss one, because they do stick around. I'm going to forgo these for now. We're going to work on these guys. So we had the e.l.f. Woe Glow Sun Touchable 30 SPF. Obviously the SPF is expired because I've had this forever. Yeah, it expired last November. This is supposed to be a dupe, I think, for Supergoop, I believe. I don't love Goop. I don't love Supergoop because I feel like it feels like really silicone-y on my skin. I do like this one. That said, you know, these are really for the SPF factor, and this no longer has SPF. I do think that this is a primer that I could see using until it was out of my collection, because it's not a bad primer. There's just not really any reason for it anymore. I don't 100% love the feel of it on my skin, but I do like it better than the Supergoop because it doesn't like slip and slide, and my makeup doesn't sit on it horribly, whereas my makeup does with the Supergoop. I've never understood all of the, you know, hype around Supergoop. This one was always much better in my humble opinion, and I'm not a drugstore girly, but I would use this in like a project pan, use it up, get it out of my collection, and probably never think twice about buying it again. This one, the Power Grip Primer, I'm not a huge fan of gripping primers. I've never been one that's had a problem with makeup sticking to my face. Funny story, I actually have several, I think, gripping primers in my collection. This one is really nice. I do like this one because it is sticky without being too sticky. It still blends into your skin without being like you're slathering Elmer's glue on your skin. It leaves your skin with like this really like dewiness to it, so I kind of dig that. I just used it like around my nose and my mouth, where if I am going to lose traction with the makeup on my face, I lose it in those areas because I'm constantly wiping my nose or touching my mouth or, you know, eating or drinking something. So I used it in those ways and I like it. It's almost gone. It'll probably go into my project pan at some point in time. Do I ever think I would repurchase it? No, just because I didn't purchase this one in the first place. Nor did I purchase this one. I think I got both of these in gratis. I prefer more of a luminizing or moisturizing primer. But this one was really nice. I didn't mind this one from a gripping primer perspective, but I'm just not a gripping primer girl, so I don't know that I'd ever repurchase it. And then we have this one, which is the Tula Filter Primer. This is a luminizing and moisturizing primer. This one is in First Light, which is for all skin tones, but it does come in multiple different multiple different shades. I don't think that you need it to be in a different shade. Even if you were just to use the filter primer on its own in First Light, it's still going to do really great things to your natural beauty for you to wear it on its own, which is why it comes in different shades, is so that you also feel like you can wear it on its own. I wore this so much without a foundation over the top of it. I got so many compliments on my skin. It's just because it moisturizes really well and it gives this really natural, healthy glow to your skin without like all the like glittery or mica particles to make it look like you're wearing a highlighter all over your skin. This is a purchase that I made. It was a purchase that I made off of repurchase that I made off of a gratis item that I received. So it's obviously something that I like. This is the third one that I've had in my collection since trying it the first time. And if I'm going to repurchase items, you know that I like those items because I am not a person who repurchases a lot because I have a pretty extensive makeup collection. This piece of hair is going to drive me nuts. The concealers that I had in play were the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Light Lift and Flex Concealer for eyes and face. This was something that was given to me by my daughter because she received it in BoxyCharm. This is in the shade 2. It was way too dark for her. I think it's really a beautiful color for me. I like it a lot. It works really well as far as the shade goes. As far as the concealer goes itself, I think that you can see it's pretty thick. Like it's definitely a learning curve. You don't need a whole lot of it to make it work for you. That was when I first tried it. I put way too much on and it looked really dry on my under eyes and I absolutely hated it. So the next time I tried it, I really thought of it a lot like I think of the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye, you know, this really thick guy right here. And I just used the smallest, tiniest, ittiest, bittiest bit. Like literally went in with just the very tip of this doe foot and put a dot like that on it. I mean, which isn't a whole lot. The first time I put it on, you know, you guys saw it. It wasn't a whole lot, but this is significantly less, and a little tiny bit goes a very long way, because if you use too much, it's going to look very dry. So I like it. It's just, you know, you have to work it in a certain way. And this guy, one of my favorite correctors, honestly, is the Bobbi Brown corrector in light to medium beige. And I picked this up on a whim because it was in our NOP section at one of my stores, which is not on Plano, which means there wasn't a place for it to live on our shelving. And so I just picked it up. And look at that big old pan. Like, I used the poop out of this guy and had a lot of pan. I'm wearing it today. It's really nice. Both of these kind of bend and flex with your skin. You know, if you're smiling, you're not going to create crevices where this is going to move into. This one's a lot more emollient than the Danessa Myricks one is. So this one would be what I would wear on the days where I was just putting this on my skin and then maybe something to, you know, cover up my eye bags and then call it good. This one would be the one I wear. But when I'm filming, I would wear this one. And it took me a minute, as I said. That was a real tough cookie. You have to figure out how to use it. But once I got it down, it was absolutely beautiful. This LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Lavender, as you guys can still see, is still sealed. So I didn't use it, so it's going to stay. And then next time if I don't use it, then it's going into a giveaway box. The 3 foundations that I had were these 3, and I think that these were really great foundations to bring into this. They partnered really well together. They worked for different reasons, and I just really loved them. So this one, Polite Society More Than a Pretty Face, in the shade Fair Neutral. When I was initially color matched to this, I was like, there's no way that that is the right shade for me, but okay, I'll just give it to my daughter. And then, because it was a gratis item, so I have to be honest, I hate the component, because you either get nothing or too much. So I have to be very, very careful with it. And it doesn't like pop back up. A lot of times on its own, you have to pull it back up. I don't know. There's something wrong with the component of this guy. But this is the More Than a Pretty Face in Fair Neutral. And you guys can see that that actually kind of really does a good job of matching my hand. I mean, it disappears into my hand. And my face isn't super far off from what my hand looks like, if I'm honest with you. It's maybe just slightly a bit more olive. And then I have this one, which is the Win Beauty by Serena Williams Hydrating Skin Enhancing Tint. And this one is in the shade 135 More. And this one, also, like a different color, right? But once blended, kind of melts right in, and you have a hard time kind of seeing it. But up against each other, you can definitely see the difference. And then we have NARS Light Reflecting Foundation in the shade Punjab, which is a heck of a lot more dark. Again, I used to live somewhere where I used to get quite a bit of a tan, but this one blended in also looks really good on the skin. This one's a little bit more warm than I would love. This one was actually kind of perfect. I could wear it on its own and nobody would know the wiser, and it's waterproof and it's a skin tint, so it felt really lightweight on the skin, whereas this one and this one were a lot more heavy. I did have to mix this one with this one in order to make it work for me most of the time, which kind of created a little bit more of a heavier consistency that I really, really wanted in my foundation, because I am a skin tint for life kind of girl. I don't love the feeling of the makeup on my skin, but I really did enjoy all 3 of these for different reasons. I do know that if I am going to like wear the NARS or like pan it or something, I'm gonna have to bring in a way lighter foundation, because this one does make my skin look orange, but man, the finish on it is so, so pretty. So as far as complexion, that's where we're at. The last thing we have here is blushes, and I've used all of these and I will be keeping all of these, but we had these 2 from Fenty. These are the Hot Cheeks blushes. I have Juicy Peach and Baked Peach. Baked Peach is the like more red toned, and then Juicy Peach is the kind of more peachy, and they're both very, very pretty. They're both baked, so they have a little bit of a sheeniness to them. These are everything that I wished that the Rare Beauty ones had been, where they're quite a bit more pigmented. Yes, they have a sheeniness to them, and have like kind of that highlighty effect, but they do have a lot more pigmentation and look like a blush that has a sheeniness to it, not like a highlight that's trying to be a blush. This Melt Blush in Honey Thief is really very pretty. I just didn't wear it super a lot because I didn't have a whole lot of pinky looks that I was creating with the eyeshadow palettes that I had in rotation. So I got some use out of it, just not a whole lot of use out of it. This one is a cream LYS Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush in the shade Kindness. And when we first pulled this in, because it is, the magnet is missing that keeps it closed, I thought it might be dry. But this is it right here. And it's actually really nice. It still performs really nicely. I don't really necessarily have to like band it closed, which I'm happy about because it's kind of an odd shape and I don't know how I would do that. But it's still super creamy. And I've had this cream blush in my collection for years, literally. And it still is performing really nicely. It's still not necessarily any scent to it. There's no scent to it, so I know that it's not gone bad yet. I would worry about it because it's not shutting appropriately, but I'm just not. So we're gonna hold on to that one. We have MAC Warm Soul. MAC Warm Soul is pretty iconic, is it not? This one is just, I mean, this is your no makeup, my skin but better kind of blush, because you really can't tell that it's on your skin most of the time. We'll hold on to that. Then I have these two by Laura Mercier. We have Blush Color Infusion Blushes in Grapefruit, which is crazy, but really beautiful. And you have to go really super light touch with that one, or you can look like a clown for sure. I don't know what possessed me to pick that color up, but I really do love it. And then we also have Fresco, which is a lot like the Warm Soul, only maybe a little bit more brown than Warm Soul, whereas Warm Soul is quite a bit pink. The last two blushes that were in here were these two by Benefit. We have Krista, which is this beautiful kind of orange color. It's very hot orange. It translates really well on the cheeks. It looks scary, but it translates well. And then Shelly, which is just pretty much another like kind of peachy. And I wore every single one of these blushes at one point in time or another. We'll hold on to all of them. Like I have a hard time getting rid of blushes anyways, but I really did like wearing all of these. Last but not least is the eye products. And these ones I didn't wear at all, so these ones will be staying. We have ColourPop Valley Girl, Fine Pearl. You can tell I didn't wear this one at all because it's not even disturbed. This one also not disturbed. This is Ritz. Fine Pearl and Ritz are rather new to my collection, so that's kind of why I pulled them in. And then these two are not, but I have Ripple and Ladybird. I love both of these. So why didn't I wear them? I don't know. Your answer is as good as mine. These I did wear. I think that these are perfect for you if you don't want, like if you want like just a light touch, like a one and done, like just kind of an ethereal look, this is good. However, if you want to like get more out of it, get more bang for your buck, go over the top of it, it doesn't really build very well. It kind of creates like cracks. And I would also say that you can't do like one swipe and done, as you guys just saw, like it just sticks into one area here, right? And then doesn't in this area. So then when you go back over the top of it, there's like this demarcation that happens so that you can tell that it was, I think you can see it here. You can tell that it started here and then it started again here. It doesn't build well, period. So as an eyeshadow, I think it's not great. I also think that as a woman who is elevated years, this also isn't a great eyeshadow formula for somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of wrinkles, but maybe has aging eyes. I don't think that this is a great formulation. So I will likely give these to my daughter because I do think that she will enjoy them. The one time that I did think that these went on great was when I did just what I did now, which was took my finger and put it on and instead just kind of pat it over the top of it, and then it leaves again this kind of like just ethereal kind of glow to them without being like kind of chunky monkey. I do like it in that way, but I feel like that defeats the purpose of these eyeshadows. So I just don't think that they're great. I will likely give them to my daughter. The one that I did think was great from a liquid, or the two that I did think were great from a liquid eyeshadow perspective, is this Stila Glisten and Glow, which was stunning. It had multiple different faucets of like color in it. I know that you guys can't tell, but it's got some like blue sparkle in it. It's got some purples and some pink sparkle in it. And it's got this really beautiful kind of like coppery background. It's just so pretty. And then also this Danessa, which is the shade Oasis. And then this Danessa Myricks Color Fix Foil in the shade Jewels, I feel like was maybe meant for me. This is, I just put way too much on my hand just now. You literally don't need that much, but I feel like that was a shade that was meant for me. This shade is so pretty. And then it's kind of got this like, I don't know, peachy to green like flip to it. It's just so pretty. It's just so pretty. I love it so much. And it is emollient, and it doesn't sink into fine lines and wrinkles, and it doesn't make my crepey eyes look any crepier, and it's just brilliant, right? It's just so pretty. So I loved both of those. Those two will stick around, but the Urban Decay ones I will likely give away to my daughter. Okay, the last thing in this mix here is this guy here, which is the Chantecaille Sunbeam Chicken Eye shade in the shade Ray, and I actually quite love this as an eyeshadow. It is just such a really pretty, like bronzy eyeshadow, and truth be told, I also used it a couple times as a bronze topper and didn't mind it in that way. So still gonna be holding on to that as a single eyeshadow, but holding on to it nonetheless. So that said, we have gone through all the things, and I have several things staying in rotation. So my 2 highlighting palettes, 5 single eyeshadows, and a color corrector, but the rest of it we need to pick. So let's go pick some new things. Okay, let's start with primer. So we are going into fall, and in fall, I don't know, I kind of feel like I like the same kind of primer no matter what time of the season, what kind of season it is. So there's that. That said, I do know that my skin gets a lot more dry during this time of year, which I don't quite understand because it is fall when it is wetter. I think I want to bring in the 2 Smashbox primers just because I feel like it's been a minute since I've used these. So I have the Primerizer, which is a hydrating primer, and Photo Finish Illuminate, which is a glow primer. I'll bring those 2 in. And I think for a blurring primer, maybe I'll also bring in the Huda Easy Blur, right? I have another blurring primer that I haven't used in a while. Maybe the Hourglass Veil primer. I find that this one's really like creates an airbrush finish of my skin. So maybe I'll bring in these 3 and we'll call it good on primers. So from a concealer, corrector, and powder perspective, like I already have my purple corrector in there still, right? Because I didn't use that last time, so I'm not going to bring in another corrector. I feel like that's what happened this last month. From a concealer perspective, I think I want to bring in the Hourglass because it's been a minute since I used this. I think I also want to do the Westman Atelier again. Actually, let's bring in Natasha because I haven't used my Natasha in a while either. So we'll bring in both Hourglass and Natasha. And then from a powder perspective, let's bring in this one, the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Ultra Blur powder. Let's do that. I think it's been a hot second since I used that. And I'm going to bring in this one for under eyes, the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom Cake for my under eyes, because I really like this one. These are like my under eye powders, and this one here, so we'll do that. Now I switched to my phone, so we'll be right back. From a foundation perspective, I know I'm going to bring in this one because it's new. This is the Milk Grip Gel Tint in the shade 2. I bought that one with points at Ulta right after it came out. I would also like to bring in, I think, the Danessa Yummy Skin. It's been a minute since I've used this one, the Serum Skin Tint. I have the shade 4. And then from an actual foundation perspective, let's do this one because it's been a minute. ColourPop Pretty Fresh. And I have the shade Light 40N. So we'll bring in that. I actually am going to bring in this too because I feel like it's been forever since I've used this. This is the Fenty Beauty Ease Drops, and mine's in the shade 9. I feel like this is the wrong shade for me, but we'll do that one too. That's it for foundation. All right. Lipstick. We have lip liners, and I always pick at least a couple lip liners. So I'm going to bring in this one from Milani. This is the Color Statement Lip Liner in the shade All Natural. I think I will bring in, let's do kind of a vampy color. I did that with that brown and actually felt like I liked it a lot. So this isn't vampy, but we'll bring in this one too. This one is ColourPop Brink. And then for a vampy color, because we will likely be using this stuff through Halloween, right? Let's bring in this one, which is Hoopty. It looks kind of like a, I don't know, plum, a deep, deep plum. I think that's it for lip liners. I like to choose my glosses as I go, so I'm not going to pick anything from the gloss line. From lipsticks, let me set these down for a second. I can only do so much one-handed. Let's bring in this Chucky one. This is from Glamlight. It is Glamlight Chucky. It looks like that. It's just kind of a really pretty nude color. And immediately my eye went to this one, which is Clinique Fig, I do believe. No, Mink. And it is kind of one of those vampy colors. I think that'll probably go really well with that lip liner that I'm pulling in. Let's pull in this one from Winky Lux. I don't think I've used this one. It's been a minute since I pulled in a MAC, but I don't know if I want to pull in a MAC. I feel like that's almost the same color as the Chucky one. You know what? Maybe I can do... I'm going to pull in this one, which is Ulma Beauty Diana, and it is red, but it's kind of like a vampy red. I pulled that out of my giveaway drawer to put into my own collection as I was going through things, and I haven't used it yet, so we'll do that. And then one more. I think it's been forever since I pulled in a MAC lipstick. Did I pull this one in when I first put it in my collection? This one is Cozy Teddy. It does, right? Cool Teddy. It does look used, so... And I know that it hasn't been that long ago, so we're not going to do this one. But maybe... No, not Marrakesh. I don't think I've used this one from Mob. I haven't. Let's pull in this one from Mob Beauty. I got this in my Beautylish Lucky Bag last year, and oops, I just scraped the top of it with the container, but I've never used it, so we'll call that good for lipsticks. Because I always pull in lipsticks that I didn't actually pull in also, so because I have those everyday user ones. I don't really want to pull in liquid lipstick. I don't want to pull in a liquid lipstick. We'll pull in these two crayons. This is Valkyrie by NARS. It's kind of a burnt, like, red, kind of like a brick red. And then this one, which is in She Defined by KVD. And I picked this up, and it wasn't like the color that I thought it was going to be, but I found that I really liked it. So I'm going to pull in all of these lip crayons, because that sounds like fun. And that's going to be it for lip products, I do think. Maybe I'll bring in these two lip tints as well. So these are some of, well, not this one. I used this one, right? Yeah, I did. I didn't use this one. So we'll bring in this LA Girl Sheer Tint Lip Balm. This one is in the shade Sheer Black Cherry. I have the Clinique Black Cherry in my project pan, so maybe we'll pair them up and see how that one really stands out next to it. So that's going to be it for lip products. Let's go into highlights and palettes, face palettes. I think because I have the two highlighting palettes still left to use, I'm not going to pull any single highlights. I am going to pull this in from a face palette perspective, which is a blush and a bronzer. And I think I actually am going to pull, I'm trying to get rid of some of the sun that's shining in the window right now. I think I'm going to pull in a couple of face palettes and then forgo blushes and bronzers as singles. So let's pull in this because it does have blush and bronzer and highlight in it. It is a Benefit Cheek Leaders palette, so we're going to pull that in. And then I I think I might also pull in, I just had this one in, so I'm not going to pull that one in. I think I'm also going to pull in this Hourglass one, because this also has blush, bronzer, and highlight in it. And I think that looks kind of fall tone with the berries in there. And I kind of also want to pull this one in, which is Juvia's Place Saharan, because it also has really berry toned blushes. It has a highlight, and it has this blush over here that looks more like a bronzer, in my humble opinion. So what do we think? I think that gives me, honestly, a ton of blushes and bronzers and highlights. And I think it makes sense. Okay, so we're not pulling anything from this drawer because that's all blushes and bronzers, and I just pulled in, oh, except for this, because it's new, so we have to pull it in. This is a Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Blush in Rosewood. I got this in my last points purchase. That's how long it's been since we pulled stuff in. So I am going to pull this in because it is new. And I like to pull new things into this. All right, from a single eyeshadow perspective, I have all those ColourPop ones in there. And I think I just want to make it easy on myself and not pull any of the liquids right now. I think I am going to pull these two Moon Dust shadows, though. That sounds like fun. And maybe this Kaja stack. This is the Sparkling Rose Kaja stack, so I'll pull those in. I'm not going to worry about a shadow stick either. So I think that's it from this drawer. Okay, this is very interesting because I feel like I haven't pulled very much in, but I do have like a ton of products here to go through. I think I made really good choices on pulling stuff that is appropriate for the fall time, even for like lips and cheek products. So we are now going to put all of this into this drawer here. I have a lot of face palettes, so I might pull this out. That said, these are the products that we pulled out of the last rotation. And these three products, I have decided we are letting go of this ABH bronzer. These three products are going to go to another home. So I have decluttered three products out of our stash from last rotation. So I'm going to plug you in to the regular camera, and you guys will get the pleasure of all the clickety-clack noises. Oh, look, that's my snacks, because when I'm up here filming, I need snacks. You're going to get the pleasure of all the clickety-clack noise, and then we will get you on out of here. I do have a lot of face palettes, so I'm going to take, I guess, this out for now. Just put it away. And this is going to be where all of my face palette stuff goes. Take this guy out of its thing. Stick it there. Yeah, I think that's fine for face palettes. I have eyes in here. I think I'm also going to put corrector in there. Let's see. These eyeshadows. I don't know why I'm talking. You want the clicky clack. Okay, that was easy peasy. I think this is it. These are all the face palettes, and then of course cheek products, right? Face palettes that are cheek products. And then I have my single eyeshadows here, all my lip products, and then my complexion in both of these containers. So I think that we are good. Let me know what you guys think of the products that I recently took out of here. Let me know what you guys think of the products that I currently have in here. Let me know what you guys think about the products that I am decluttering out of what we did have in here. Like, how do you guys feel about these products? I would be sure interested to hear your thoughts. And with that said, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you and yours are well. I hope that you are all safe and healthy and getting along as best that you can. I hope that you are all loving each other, being kind humans, living your best life. Don't forget I have a giveaway video or a giveaway going on right now. I'll have that linked up in the cards. And that said, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, bye friends.